Hey guys, what is going on? So we could see Russell Wilson playing for the Broncos, the Saints, or the Giants next season. So a report came out today. Jordan Schultz reported that Russell Wilson would consider waiving his no-trade clause for the Saints, for the Broncos, or for the New York Giants. So honestly, I feel like the Saints or the Broncos would be a better fit for Russell Wilson. As a Giants fan, I'm staying as unbiased as possible. It hurts me to say that because I would love Russell Wilson on the Giants, but it just makes more sense for him to go to one of those teams because I feel like both of those teams are closer to being a contender. The Saints have really struggled lately, but that's because their quarterback situation has been rough lately with Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill. They were playing well when Jameis Winston was playing, right? And then for the Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback right now. Yeah, he's had some good games this season, but they're really a quarterback away. That defense has been playing really well. They played well against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And that offense, I mean, Javonte Williams is already looking like a top 10 running back. Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, Noah Fant. I mean, the offense is built to be a very good offense as well. And then you have the Giants. And the question is, how far or how long is it going to take for the Giants to do another rebuild? Because it's clear the rebuild failed for the Giants. The rebuild we've been watching for the past 3 years failed for the Giants. Quarterback is definitely a need for the Giants. The question is, how many other pieces do the Giants need? We know the offense looks terrible, right? Is it more of an issue with the coaching or is it more of an issue with the players on the team? We know the offensive line is bad for the Giants, right? And we know that Seattle has had a bad offensive line, right? And that's obviously something that Russell Wilson probably doesn't enjoy. I mean, what quarterback enjoys being sacked, right? So if the Giants would want to make a move for Russell Wilson, they would definitely need to fix that offensive line. I think having Andrew Thomas on this Giants roster is great because he is a fantastic left tackle, and what quarterback doesn't want to have their blind side protected by a great left tackle? But the Giants need to figure out what other moves they need to make or that they can make to make this team a playoff contender next season. Because if you trade for Russell Wilson, you're saying, okay, we're not really going to do a rebuild here. We're trying to rebuild as fast as possible, literally rebuild in one offseason so we can be a playoff contender next season. This defense is playing pretty good for the Giants, right? So that's not really the biggest concern, but the offensive line needs to be fixed and play calling, needs to be fixed. Obviously, there is going to be a new offensive coordinator next offseason. If the Giants are really in on Russell Wilson, they should try to see if they can hire someone that Russell Wilson would really want to work with. And if the Giants end up, going with a whole new coaching staff next season, Joe Judge isn't the head coach. If they're all in on Russell Wilson, they got to try to find someone who works well with Russell Wilson, or Russell Wilson would be very excited to work with. Also, the Giants might have the best package that they can offer for Russell Wilson, since they do have 2 first-round picks, and it's looking like those 2 first-round picks in this upcoming draft could both be top 10 picks. Now, would the Giants trade both first-round picks this draft for Russell Wilson? I don't know if they would. I personally wouldn't, but knowing you have those 2 first-round picks, that will probably be in the top 10, that is really big for the Giants. So the question really, I guess, comes down to the Giants is, are they going to rebuild fast enough? Another reason why I think Russell Wilson might want to go to the Giants instead of one of these other teams, even though like the Saints and the Broncos look like they are closer to being a contender, is because it's New York. We obviously know he's married to Sierra, who is a singer and is in the entertainment industry. When you're in New York, you're in a media city, a big city, a city much bigger than Denver or New Orleans, and a city that has a lot of those entertainment companies there. Yeah, it's not LA, but it's probably the second biggest city for, entertainment stuff, right behind LA. So that would obviously be huge for Russ and his family. And just, I don't know if the Giants are going to want to go all in on Russ with his age. That's my only other question is, Russ, he was drafted in, 2012? Russ is over 30 years old. I think he's going to be 34 next season. Don't quote me on that. The Giants really need to be like, okay, we're going to figure this out now and be able to contend next season. They need to have confidence in whoever they bring in. If they, they're probably going to bring in a new GM. Whoever they bring in is going to be able to build this roster up fast if they do make that move for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson obviously would be an upgrade over any quarterback that they have on the roster right now, but if you don't have the pieces around him, it's not going to be a good move. Like the Broncos, you put Russell Wilson in there for the Broncos, you put Russell Wilson in there, and that is a real playoff contender. That is a team that can make a deep playoff run. They got the defense, they got the offense, now they have the quarterback leading that offense. That team would be a contender. Then you have the Saints, another team. Really good defense to start out the season. They've struggled a little bit as of late. And if Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas will be back, you have Sean Payton as the coach, that's another team where they become a contender right away if Russell Wilson goes to that team. But for the Giants, I don't know if they become a contender when Russell Wilson joins that team, just because they've been so bad this season. On paper, it seems like the Giants have the talent, right? It seems like they have the talent. Kenny Golladay, Saquon Barkley, it seems like they have the talent. But it just hasn't been working out like that, and they've just struggled so much this season, couldn't even put up a touchdown versus the Dolphins. So I'm just gonna conclude my Giants point by saying this. They need to somehow be confident that they can fix the offensive line in one offseason and fix this offense with whoever they're bringing in to be the offensive coordinator in one offseason if they want to trade for Russell Wilson. I think the Giants can offer the most for Russell Wilson, but the question is, are the Giants going to want to do that? I really think New York is an appealing place for Russell Wilson, like I said with Sierra and all that. Like, I really think him and Sierra would want to live in New York. I think that would be an appealing place because she can also grow her career here too. But if he's looking for that next Super Bowl ring, I really think the Broncos are probably the best destination, if I'm being totally honest. That Broncos team really is a team that looks like it's just a quarterback away. I was really impressed with how the defense played. Again, really impressed with how Javonte Williams played. I mean, watching him Sunday night was so much fun when Melvin Gordon was out. And they still have Melvin Gordon on that team too. Like, that is a team that if you can just put the ball in Judy's hands and Courtland Sutton, like, think about that. Russell Wilson to Courtland Sutton to Jerry Jeudy with that run game. Javonte Williams is a running back who runs really hard too. Like, that, I think that would be the contender I would believe in the most if Russell Wilson went to that team. Out of these three teams, if you put Russell Wilson on each of these three teams, I think the Broncos would have the most likely chance to win the Super Bowl out of those three teams if you put Russell Wilson on each of them. I'll say that. Look at me, unbiased. Look at my unbiased Giants fan. Look how I'm an unbiased Giants fan here. As for the Seahawks, obviously the Seattle Seahawks would want to trade Russell Wilson. And if I'm the Seahawks, I would want to trade Russell Wilson because, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Giants fan. If I'm the Seahawks, I would, take a nice trade for Russell Wilson because you need picks. If you're the Seattle Seahawks, you need picks. You traded your first round pick this season to the Jets for Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is actually out for the season now, so you don't have your first round pick, and you're struggling. You don't have a winning record. That's bad. That's not a good situation. It's obviously not good when you have a losing record and you don't even have your first round draft pick in the upcoming draft. That stinks. I think either Pete Carroll or Russell Wilson is not going to be there next season, and both those guys might not be there next season. There's been these rumors about Russ maybe wanting to get traded for, like the past offseason or whatever, but this is the time where I feel like we might actually see the Seattle Seahawks trade him because things have not been going good in Seattle. The offensive line has been bad. They run the ball too much. I don't know what the play calling is on offense, really. So it just seems like that Seattle needs to restart or rebuild. I mean, they still have some great players on that team, but it seems like they just need to get some picks and get some new talent in there and maybe a new coach in there too. And it seems like Seattle is kind of leaning maybe towards doing some type of rebuild or mini rebuild, whatever you want to call it. I don't think they're going to find a quarterback in this draft class if they do trade Russell Wilson. But, like, let's say the Giants trade for him. They trade Daniel Jones to them, and Daniel Jones becomes that quarterback that plays for a year until they draft a quarterback in possibly the 2023 draft if they do end up trading Russell Wilson. Or if the Broncos trade for him, if they trade, Teddy B or Drew Lock, one of those guys would be the quarterback there. If they want to draft a quarterback in the 2023 season and they're using this upcoming season to rebuild and, get draft picks because they need draft picks because they don't have the first round pick this season. That actually stinks. I feel bad for anyone who's a fan of a team that's struggling right now that doesn't have a first round pick in this upcoming draft, because then it's like you can't even do like your first round mock draft. You can't even look at mock drafts because you're not going to be there. Like that stinks. Like I'm a Giants fan and they're struggling, but at least I get to look at mock drafts and be like, okay, this player could end up on the Giants. And it makes it even better though. The Giants have 2 first round draft picks this upcoming draft, so it makes the pain a little less. But if you're like a Texans fan or Oh wait, Texans have their first round pick this year, right? If you're a Seahawks fan, really though, that stinks because you guys were not expected to be this bad this season. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video. I know I just rambled a lot, but a lot of thoughts on this Russell Wilson situation. But make sure you drop a comment down below. Let me know if you think Russ is going to be a Seattle Seahawk or not next season, and if not, where do you think he's going to play? Make sure you drop a thumbs up and subscribe, guys. Peace.